Hard to believe, right here on these tracks, in January of 2012, we started the Rick Dancer TV show. At that time, we didn't know where it was going. Making it up as we go, and hopefully it's not going to be a train wreck. Oh, it's not going to be a train wreck. And we still don't, and that's the good part about it. I spend a lot of my time on the wrong side of the railroad tracks, and I like to take you with me. So our first little journey is going to be back to the old days when we did a story on a woman named Julie, and this woman paints, and she can't use her arms. This is going to blow you away. I'm not dead. That sounds like something interesting.
Everybody's called to do something, and either you listen or you don't.
Instructor, she just thought I had something. She loved how I painted with my teeth, and she wanted to give me the gift.
I look at the paper, and what should I draw on you today? I need total physical care. That's something I cannot do. I can't run, always wanted to run. I've gone skiing before, and that's an experience. I could do anything I want to do. If you put your mind to it, all great things can happen. I pray a lot during my paintings, and
What do you ask God?
to bless this world. If the world was blessed, then everything else comes and falls in place. And I pray for my family. That's the kinds of things, and mostly peace. I was watching my daughter dance, and she goes, "I wish I could paint like you." And I said, "Well, I wish I could dance like you." And then it just hit me. Painting is my way of dancing. It's part of my soul. When my boy was 1 year old, he was all over the place, and I had to catch him, and he weighed 60 pounds. After 60 pounds, I could no longer pick him up. When they first see me, they see a scrunched up little body. I'm only 5 feet tall. My arms don't work, and most people are terrified to be around me. They're afraid that their kids are going to get whatever I have. And then they watch me paint. In the 60s and 70s, where mainstreaming consisted of you go to a school and there was a chain link fence, and that was considered mainstream. The disabled people were on one side, regulars were on the other side, and the two should never meet. Matter of fact, when I was younger, I didn't even believe in God. Most people, when they hit my age, are no longer walking. And I'm determined to break the rules. I like breaking rules. I'll admit it, I like breaking rules. I like not being part of the mold. I like being part of something else, something bigger than life.
It's a great way to build relationships.
If you're looking for a barber who understands the art of cutting hair, Francesco Michelli is the man. This guy really knows what he's doing. takes his time, he understands his customer, and he knows what makes you look good. They even do the little extras, like a straight razor shave to get those little hairs off of all those places. Yep, even the top of ears. I'm telling you, if you want a good haircut, somebody who knows what they're doing, a true artist, go to my barber. Fresh cut. Francesco Michelli. He's the man. 541-357-6903.
Credibility is huge. I mean, you put the facts together and you tell the story, the complete picture, then that builds your credibility. Trust is key, because if they don't trust what it is that you're doing every single week, then they're not going to subscribe to the paper. They're not going to buy the paper. They're going to look for other sources to find the news that they want. The best way to stay informed is pick up the paper, and if it's not in the paper, let us know that it's not in the paper so we can go find who we need to get that story. It is about them. It's about the community. That's what the paper is. It's the community paper for Cottage Grove.
In Junction City, long before there were programs to take care of people in need, and people who just need a little food or some clothing, a bunch of churches in the community got together and they created this amazing program, and it still exists today. Now it's a nonprofit, and they just recently moved into a new building. We produced a video for them because they need to get the word out about who they are. Now, one of the cool things about this video, I want you to listen carefully, is a local kid. He's a young man, but to me he's a kid. Ryan, he produced and wrote a song for this story based on a few words that I gave him, like hope and homelessness and caring and things like that. And he produced a song that's in this video. So take a look and then get involved. You know, I mean, this is the real deal. A community, rural Oregon, comes together and does what's the right thing, and they're still doing it. I love this. Watch.
Here's a little food for thought. Let's acquire a taste for sharing the light.
You get to the point where you're desperate and you don't really have any other options. And that's scary, to be in that position, to not know where your next meal is coming from, not know if you're going to have the things that you need to take care of your family.
For Heather Quass and her son Elijah, it feels like such a long time ago. Heather's marriage was over, she had a 3-year-old son to take care of, she lost her job, her home, and drained her bank account.
Having to go and ask someone to help me get out of this position. It was scary because I didn't know what they were going to think. I didn't know if they were going to try to take Elijah from me.
When I've lost my bread and butter.
Unfortunately, the need is tremendous and has been tremendous the entire time I've lived in Junction City.
Retired veterinarian Mary Whitlock and her husband Wayne Earnshaw are longtime supporters and now volunteer at Junction City Local Aid.
What's amazing is when we see families come, and families that you know, they are definitely here for our help, but it's also very evident that we're not really giving them a handout. We are definitely giving them a handout.
Show me life goes on. When I've lost my bread and butter.
Junction City Local Aid started as a community chest with the joined forces of a few local church congregations more than 70 years ago.
We provide basic needs in a way that nobody else does in this community. So I really think it's a pulsing, beating heart of this community.
In the year 2000, the group became a nonprofit. Then they got a permanent home. More than 70 core volunteers keep Junction City Local Aid going. That and donations from the community and grants.
And it's not only food, it's clothing, it's information about what's available in the community or from the state to get services that they need. And they're taking that initial step to come in through the front door. A lot of times that's pretty hard for people to do.
I felt like I was going to be judged very harshly, that I put myself in this position and how dare I come and ask for help when this is my fault. And that's, looking back, I know that's not the way it was, but you get to the point where you've been beat down for so long emotionally and you just assume that it's your fault automatically.
And so we've learned how to just to take care of each other instead of judging them, because things change over time and this community has changed over time, so you never know when you might be the person in need.
Junction City Local Aid is more than food and clothing.
We also have a utility assistance program, propane assistance for people who may be living in cars or campers. We have prescription and over-the-counter drug assistance for families. We also have transportation assistance in the form of bus passes that we will give people who need to get to job interviews or doctor's appointments or things like that.
We're not just talking the talk, we're walking the talk and in actually doing something.
Junction City Local Aid works. It connects people. It brings out the good in a community. It gives rural Oregonians a means to take care of each other.
All kinds of stuff come in the back door. Farmers just pull up with their trucks and ring the bell, and we go out, get it, bring it in, weigh it, give them a receipt for it, and then bring it out to the clientele that come in here.
People who come in and they need utility assistance a few months or a year down the line, they're going to come back and make a donation, and they're going to go out into the community and tell people that they received respectful help here. So it works because we're all in it together all the time.
If local aid runs out or is in need of something, they know the community will step in.
I'll go to the chamber breakfast and tell people we really need peanut butter, and it takes a day or two and people start bringing that stuff in. So it's really exciting to me in a small community where you can share what you need and people immediately respond.
Don't be afraid to take my hand.
Now the need is for more partners from the business community.
This building is a gift, really. It's been a wonderful gift from Terry and Bob Lee, who sold the building to us, and we've paid for a big chunk of it, but now we're ready to pay for the rest of it. So we've kind of set a goal of raising the rest of the money to pay it off free and clear, so we will no longer have a mortgage. And once we do that, then the sky's the limit.
Yeah, they gave me the hope I needed to continue on, to do what I needed to do, to hold my head high and be okay with asking for help, be okay with seeking others in the community that can help me get out of the situation.
Heather remarried, her husband brought 2 children into the relationship, and now they are a family of 5 who also gives back.
Beyond happy. I love my life now. It's amazing. 5 years ago, I would have never thought I could be like this. I would have never thought I could be a happy, healthy person, and I am. And I'm almost waiting for me to wake up. Like I didn't think this would happen. I didn't think that I could be in love with a phenomenal man that supports me and is willing to support the community as much as I do. I didn't think that my kids, my son would grow up and be so happy and healthy.
Pull up a chair, let me behold to you.
Looking for something fun for the whole family to beat boredom, be active, and have a splashing good time? For less than the cost of going to the movies, you can bring the whole family to Splash, where the weather is always perfect, the surf's always up, and no sunscreen is required. Pack a towel and head to Splash at Lively Park in Springfield. For more information, go to willamalane.org. Splash at Lively Park. It's waves of fun.
Hello, I'm Leona Houston with Country Financial. I've spent years in our community helping families protect their homes, their cars, and their lives. Complete financial security doesn't end with insurance. I'm also here to help you plan for your retirement. I'm backed by a team of professionals that can help you achieve your goals. Together, we'll set up a step-by-step plan to help you reach your financial security. Let's talk soon.
But every McDonald's restaurant in Oregon is locally owned and operated. Specifically, the McDonald's of Central and Southern Oregon are comprised of 7 owner-operators that are just small business owners, moms, dads, family people within our community. People have been asking for all-day breakfast for years. It's actually one of the most requested demands from our customers.
McDonald's finally figured out a system to where we can now serve this.
Did you know that you can get biscuits and McGriddles all day now at McDonald's?
Are you kidding me?
People wanted it. They requested it. We heard.
Some McBiscuits all day long? Yes, sir. That's awesome.
And now they have more choices.
I haven't had one of these in so long. This is so really great.
What's great about the all-day breakfast menu is there's a lot of healthier, low-calorie options. For example, the Egg McMuffin is only 300 calories. We have our oatmeal. We have the yogurt parfait.
Things like this when we do community services, giving out free food. I really love that kind of stuff at McDonald's.
Breakfast at McDonald's all day long. I love
it! Massage is to heal the human body and the mind, the soul, actual muscles. It helps with lactic acid, it helps with lymphatic flow. It gets fluid flowing, it gets everything nice and relaxed. My massage is individual based. Depends on what's going on with you. I ask you questions, find out what's going on with you, find out your daily activities, what's bothering you today. Every massage is different. I don't do the same massage on everybody because everybody's different. I don't do the same pressure on everybody because everybody's different. You know, some people I can go deeper, other people lighter. Fibromyalgia people can have a flare-up. It's a light touch. Somebody with a sports injury, knee injury, if they're sore, I can work that out. I do stretches on them. It all depends on, I analyze what goes on and I look at the body structure when you lay down to see how your body is laying on the table. If one hip's higher, one hip's lower, let's fix the problem, not treat the symptom.
Oh my gosh. We actually are taping, so you are on video. Oh, great. So I could give you a hug. Happy New Year!
How are ya?
I'm good. We're taping the intro for my Rick Dancer TV show.
I'll see you next week.
I'm actually going to go intro the eWeb piece
you are?
that we were talking about.
Cool.
Yeah, because we're going to air it on this show. So.
Isn't he just so thoughtful and planful?
But I had no idea you'd actually be walking out of the building.
We didn't choreograph this.
We didn't choreograph this. And look at all your friends are running away from you. Here, what if I go over here? Then they're all stuck. Look, now they're in. Oh! I like this.
Oh, my thank you.
That is awesome.
Kind of matches your jacket.
Well, put us together. See you later.
I'll see you Tuesday.
Okay.
You're coming out to the Rock.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you there.
All right.
I'm going to email you ahead of time.
All right. Please do. Thank you. I love her. So she's the woman involved with eWeb who got me in on this project. The eWeb's changing the way they're doing their water. So the major source of water in Eugene is the McKenzie River, but they learned a few years ago that they're depending on one water source, and you really can't do that. So they're broadening that to include the Willamette, and this video is to explain how that's going to happen. So take a look.
The headwaters of the Willamette River begin far from Eugene in forested watersheds of the Coast Fork, the Middle Fork, and the McKenzie Rivers. Melting snow flows through porous volcanic rock in the Cascades, feeding crystal clear water into the Willamette before heading up to Portland. For nearly 90 years, the city of Eugene has relied on the McKenzie River as its only source of drinking water. Other cities in the valley draw their drinking water from the Willamette River. After years of careful planning for the future, eWeb will join Corvallis, Wilsonville, and other communities by tapping into this high-quality water source. Eugene will continue to rely on the McKenzie River as our primary drinking water source, as it has for many generations. But as we look into the future, having only one water source places us at great risk during an emergency. Eugene is the largest city in the Pacific Northwest without an alternate supply of drinking water. With just a few days of storage, a natural or human-caused disaster could mean nearly 200,000 people would be without water for days, weeks, or even longer. Clean water is vital to public health, safety, and the economy. So planning is underway for EWEB's biggest investment in water reliability, an alternate water source on the upper Willamette River. The new intake is near the confluence of the Coast and Middle Forks, where thousands of acres of land are already protected for natural habitat and recreation. Groups like the Nature Conservancy, Friends of Buford Park, and Lane County are working to restore the confluence area, making this an ideal spot to draw drinking water from the Willamette.
We're right now looking at a side channel of the Willamette River at the confluence of the Coast Fork and the Middle Fork, which drains the beautiful Waldo Lake. This is phase 2 of a 3-phase project that stretches over 6 miles on the Middle Fork of the Willamette, just upstream from EWEB's new water intake. And in particular, this confluence area is a dynamic area for wildlife and an important opportunity for restoration. We've been partnering with a lot of community volunteers to clear the area of invasives, to create a design to reconnect the ponds to the river, and implement that this summer of 2016. Healthy floodplains make clean rivers.
Studies show the water quality in the upper Willamette is excellent. EWEB testing since 2013 shows water quality here is remarkably similar to that at the McKenzie River intake location, less than 5 miles away. Today, all of Eugene's drinking water comes from the Hayden Bridge filtration plant on the McKenzie River. By 2022, our water supply will be supplemented by a secondary plant on the Willamette River, giving us a more reliable water system for the future. This smaller plant will be built to modern seismic standards and use contemporary technology to increase our resilience during emergencies. This investment will enhance the reliability of our community's most vital resource, clean drinking water, for generations to come.
You guys, I don't get to do this enough. And I really, in 2017, I gotta make a resolution, even though I don't do resolutions, and I gotta make this more a part of what I do. Because, you know, it's a hard work, it's a lot of work, but I'm telling you, live television like this, whether it's live Facebook or live TV, I mean, this is where it's at. This is what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a bunch of people sitting behind a desk blabbing news to you. It's supposed to be you living it with us, and that's why this works. I mean, that's why this is so much fun, and you're having fun. Just admit it. I mean, you tell me you're not having fun. You're having fun. So here's something fun. Back in the day, my co-anchor named Erin Bruce was like doing these in gears and all this stuff where she'd go out and do these high adventure stuff. That's who we should get to do our high adventure video. She is so funny. And she goes, hey Rick, you want to go out and do a water safety thing? I'm thinking it's like, you know, a water safety story. No, she didn't tell me that she's going to put me in a wetsuit, put a hard hat on, and throw me out into the river. So I ended up in the river, and it was scary.
The water's going to be cold, and you're going to stay dry.
That's the idea when you're getting geared up for a water safety class.
This is for you, and then we're getting some for Rick.
Guy Santiago from Oregon River Sports is teaching Rick Dancer and me to save ourselves on the river. And we need the right gear to do it. What is this made out of?
This is plastic pop bottles.
He's not kidding. This material is a special combination of polyester, nylon, and spandex. Guy says to always avoid cotton.
And then just go ahead and bring your head, there you go, and just bring it on through.
Layer 2, a Gore-Tex dry suit. It's airtight and still breathable. An imperative for rescue training.
Commander.
Before you can call yourself a real moon man, you have to have neoprene booties and gloves.
Okay, it's tight in here.
The fingers are pre-curved to make paddling more comfortable.
It's important that a life jacket fits you well and it's comfortable.
This could be the piece of gear that saves your life. It's a rescue jacket. And these are not those big orange uncomfortable things you wore as a kid. These life jackets are designed for open movement and paddling. And they won't make you look like a dork, unless you're Rick, of course.
About 90% of all the accidents that occur on the river occur within 10 feet of the river's edge.
We're on the Willamette River, learning how to rescue ourselves. Number 1 rule, wear a helmet.
Yeah, here we go.
We're learning how to feel our way through a 9-mile-per-hour current. Even with the right gear, you need to stay relaxed and alert.
Oftentimes the reason people don't throw these things is they're too hard to stuff. They don't practice with them.
You should always have a rope bag with you on the water. It's an important piece of gear for performing rescues, and it keeps you from having to dive in.
But when you're dealing with ropes, it goes hand in hand with another thing, and that's a knife.
Your rescue jacket should be equipped with a knife. It should have a serrated edge and a blunt tip.
Okay, one less thing to hurt ourselves with.
Our jackets also come equipped with quick-release safety belts.
Okay, now let me go ahead and fix your front of your jacket.
You should never try this kind of rescue without proper training, gear, and support. Rick and I found out fast how difficult a water rescue can be.
Can you imagine that if you weren't dressed the way you are, and then you got this current beating on you and you are by yourself, you don't have people on each bank saying, okay, you're okay. You're there by yourself. So the hardest thing to do is to be able to think.
On the Willamette River, I'm Erin Bruce, and we're in gear.
In an era where newspapers are struggling and a lot of larger papers are dying, we are doing well because we tend to cover things local and we offer news that people can't get anywhere else. That's our model, is covering local news and sports and anything to do with the community. In an era where everybody's trying to be the first to get the news out, we actually do some research and talk to the sources and get the story and all the details behind the story.
People ask me all the time, so how do I get informed? How do I get involved in things that are going on? And then we see a lot of people just complaining without ever getting involved. That's not acceptable. So here's what's coming up, some things you need to be involved with, you need to understand. Will the City of Eugene pick this place, eWeb, as the new City Hall, or 2 other locations that they're looking at? You need to be involved in that idea, that conversation, and you need to get involved in it now. The other thing is safety in downtown Eugene. Huge issue. People are very concerned. Women are not feeling safe walking in our community. And is this a homeless issue? Is it a mental health issue? Is it a behavior problem issue? Or is it all 3? Well, what are we going to do about it? You have to be involved in that conversation. It's your city, they're your elected officials, they'll do what you need them to do, but if you're not involved, it's not going to happen.